Hello viola players, this video is for you. This is Avengers, and obviously this is not a viola, but I'm gonna play your part anyways. My metronome is playing 120 beats per minute. It's kind of quick. Our part is very repetitive, so it's all about the little circle sets that you play, finding that place where the bow makes contact with the string kind of an aggressive way, but that will still ring, but still have that short, powerful articulation. This is measure 4 since we rest for the first 3 measures. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, hi violas. Overall, this piece is not terribly difficult, but you're gonna wanna zero in on the passage between 39 and 50 because that's where your hard work is. Also, you wanna make sure you have the right articulation and bowing at measure 7 and 6 and 5 because that thing lasts for a really long time, all the way through measure 21 with a few little varying notes here and there. So you're gonna have one finger on the G, make sure it rings nice and tune A. Check to be sure you're in tune. 1 E and 2 and a 3, 4 E and a 1 E and a 3. So you're just gonna keep picking up your bow in a little circle set so that you're always starting with a down bow. You want to put some weight in your bow. That's why we're using the low end of the bow. We're not going to try to play this up here. Play it under your hand so that you have that weight. You are articulating and using a nice short bow stroke. Here it comes one more time. And I would, even though there's staccato on those quarter notes before measure 9 and then again before measure 13, measure 17, I would give those notes just a little bit of length and definitely some vibrato. So every time you have 2 quarter notes, like right in the opening measure 4, a little bit of vibrato for drama. Just make sure you're still in tune. Okay, violas. One spot to work on is measure 21 because of all of those octave leaps that you have to play, and to play those perfectly in tune is tricky. And also, we're kind of the melody here, so it's very important. So here's measure 21. You can have your first finger on the G, but you're going to A, up high, and preferably we want to use our 4th finger so it has a nice rich sound. So 2, 3, 4, 21. tricky leaps. So practice making sure you can play those in tune. Here it is one more time, measure 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2. Rest. 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 And back to C sharp. Another tricky spot is measure 29, where we suddenly change the key, and instead of C natural, your third finger in its normal place, now it's C sharp. We also have F sharp, so instead of F natural, it's here. And also we have G sharp, so instead of third finger here, we reach extra for G sharp. We also, in measure 41, have a D sharp written in, so instead of playing open D, we place our first finger pulled way back to make a D sharp. Let's work on that passage there. This is measure 29. So we start with a C sharp. 2, ready? Follow those bowings. Here's an accent. Crescendo. Vibrato if you can. Change your bow. F sharp, F natural, F sharp. Articulate. So in measure 38, those are articulated really extra strong. They're like a punch in the face. Measure 38 again. And then in 39, we're gonna work on this chunk together. You wanna place your second finger on the D and your third finger on the G. Make sure you're stretching it for C sharp. Make sure you're in tune with both notes. So you're making nice open harmony. It's kind of weird harmony, but there it is. And your bow just goes back and forth. So your hand stays, your bow does the work. Kind of the middle of the bow. Here we go. Open. Now D sharp. First finger's pulled back. Now I'm using my third finger to play F sharp because it makes it easier because it's right there. This is measure 42. Now it's just open D again. And I went back to first position so that I can now use my third finger to stretch for G sharp. Now I'm in measure 43. Just like the beginning at measure 39. Open D. Now I'm switching to D sharp, so F sharp, and then pull the first finger back. Third finger. This is measure 46. Stay in this half position where your third finger is on F sharp, and use your fourth finger to get the C sharp on the G string. And then you would pick up your third finger and play E sharp, which is the same thing as F natural. And your fingering for measure 46, you stay in half position, would be 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 2. And then you're just gonna go to open A and measure 47. Okay, let's finish this. So we just practiced measure 45 and 46, and now I want you to notice that suddenly in measure 46, suddenly, literally, the word is S-U-B, which is short for the Italian subito, which means suddenly. In measure 46, we get very quiet. We've been playing forte on this pattern all along, but now in 46, we get quiet, and then we're gonna crescendo into 47. It's gonna make a fun little climax moment. Here's measure 45. Ready? So we're in half position with our D sharp and our F sharp. Ready? This is 45. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. So I want to point something else out to you. When you get to measure 47, you can just play open A. at first because you're coming out of a tricky pattern and your hand is kind of tied up on the D and the G strings. And so when you get to 47, just play an open A to get into that new pattern. But then when your hand feels ready, you can substitute the open A for fourth finger as long as you can play it perfectly in tune. So here's the transition from 46 to 47 one more time. So you're in half position for the F sharp, and your fourth finger is reaching for C sharp. Ready? 1 and 2 and 46.